This video is brought to you by my latest book, How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar, a comprehensive guide to doing exactly that, playing melodic rock lead guitar. This is not just some collection of scale patterns and tabs, although you do get plenty of those, but you also get an entire chapter on how to come up with your own licks, as well as video content, tutorials and demonstrations, loads of jam tracks, and all the way through I'm encouraging you to expand your fretboard knowledge and showing you how you can think in a more musical and melodic way. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Being Tuesday, we're doing a top 5 list, and if you were watching last week, you'll have seen me extolling the virtues of the humbucking pickup. 5 reasons why you may prefer humbucking pickups. Just basically kind of going through the advantages of that style of electronics in your guitar. And I said that this week I'd be doing the opposite. I'd be, in the name of balance, in the interests of impartiality, although I am very much a humbucker chap at heart. But in the interest of impartiality, I'd be going through a similar list of reasons why you may prefer the sound and the tone of single coil pickups. So let's get started on that with
the clarity.
The clarity, yes. Single coil pickups have a very crisp, clear, transparent sound that if you are doing what I do a lot, which is mixing tracks, then it will sit in a mix perfectly. There's always just a space in the sonic spectrum for the sound of a single coil pickup to just sit there and not tread on the toes of anything else. Even though I am very much a fan of humbucking pickups, just for the sheer girth of them and the power and the fact that they're noiseless and all the reasons I spoke about last week, really. When I'm recording like a clean, strummy rhythm guitar part, I will always still go for like a single coil sound, usually. I can kind of tease a similar kind of sound out of a Les Paul, but it does take a little bit more work to get it there. It's doable, as I said last week, but it's just easier with single coil pickups. So that's one reason. Next,
the twang.
Yeah, my first ever memory of hearing an electric guitar, and I'm not going to bore you with the whole story again, but it was when I was very, very little, a toddler in fact, and I heard Apache by the Shadows on the radio, and that defined to a large part my perception of what an electric guitar should sound like. It should sound big and twangy and, that big sort of echo-laden Hank Marvin sound, and later on I somehow discovered Dwayne Eddy and, things like Rebel Rouser and Shazam and all of those hits that he did. Was it 40 Miles of Bad Road? I think that's another one of his, isn't it? I should really dig some more of his stuff out. I might see if I can find on Spotify the album of his that I had when I was about 12. Just that sort of twangy guitar sound. If you perceive the sound of an electric guitar to be that big, vintage, kind of slightly perhaps country, clean, twangy, usually reverb or tape echo laden sound, if that for you is what defines the sound of an electric guitar, and I know for many people it does, then you are better off choosing single coils than humbuckers, which again will do that sound, but you just have to work a little bit harder at it. So there you go. Clarity and twang. 2 reasons why single coils have an edge in certain places. Next.
Nothing else gives you that sound.
Yeah, nothing else truly gives you that single coil sound. I'm continually extolling the virtues of this guitar, built for me by Agrajag Guitars in Middlesbrough, and the 5-way switch on this gives me bridge humbucker, then the inner 2 coils of the pickups to give me sort of a pseudo stratty kind of tone, both humbuckers, then the outer 2 coils to give me a pseudo Telecaster tone, and then the neck humbucker on its own. And There's a reason why I spec that guitar up with a couple of single coil options in it, or pseudo single coil options in it. It's because there are, as I said, times when that sound is, something that I want. But even that guitar, fantastic though it is, you put it up against a real Stratocaster or a real Telecaster, and you can tell, well, yeah, okay, I can see, or I can hear, rather, that guitar is doing a sort of a facsimile of it, a simulacrum of it, but it's not really doing it as authentically as a true guitar with a true single coil guitar will do. When you chop a humbucker in half, it used to be called coil tapping, back in my youthful days. There were even, DiMarzio catalogues where Larry DiMarzio himself referred to coil tapping as just basically turning off one coil of a humbucker pickup to get a single coil sound. But then sometime in, after the millennium, all the people who are younger than some of the shirts I've got in the wardrobe started telling me off for saying coil tapping and saying it's coil splitting. Well, I come from an electronics background, and I don't remember any term like coil splitting in any of those textbooks I read when I was at college. But by the by, when you chop a humbucker in half, whatever you want to call it, it will give you something that's close to a single coil sound, but it's not a true single coil sound in the true sense of the guitar that I had, which got closest to that was probably the PRS SE CE24, which PRS have come closest to this than I think any other manufacturer with their humbucker designs, that when you put them into single coil mode, when you turn off one of the coils, they get closest to single coil sounds, but even they don't sound authentically like a single coil guitar. So if you desperately need, and your sort of core raison d'etre when you pick up the guitar is to get those kind of single coil sounds, then you're going to need a guitar with single coil pickups in it, and that's just the plain fact of the matter. For someone like me who's willing to just sort of mainly humbuckers, but occasionally I need that single coil kind of tone, then the compromise of chopping a humbucker in half is good enough for me, but it might not be for you. So there you go. Next.
They are in the most versatile of all guitars.
One of the chaps who regularly turns up on the Friday live stream is a very, very seasoned session guitar player of long repute, a guy called Gary Shaw. He's played with loads of people. Sherman Robertson springs to mind. That's a guy whose band he was in for quite a while, and he's still kind of a busy jobbing session guitar player. And I interviewed him ages ago, and I said, so if you were going to turn up for a session and you didn't know what music you were going to be playing, it could be soul, funk, it could be rock, it could be blues, any style of, from classic rock to 50s rock and roll, from yeehaw hillbilly country through to, kind of AC/DC style classic rock. What guitar would you take? And without missing a beat, without even blinking, he just said, well, a Strat. I've got a Strat, and as I've said before, I enjoy playing it occasionally, but it's not something that's, right in my crosshairs in terms of the guitar tone that I want to get on a regular basis. But there's no denying that, the same guitar that Jimi Hendrix, played Voodoo Child on, and, the Star Spangled Banner at Woodstock, and the same guitar that Ritchie Blackmore played Smoke on the Water and Since You've Been Gone on, is the same guitar that Buddy Holly played That'll Be the Day on, and it's the same model of guitar that Eric Clapton played Layla on, and it's the same guitar that Hank Marvin played Apache on. There's no denying the versatility of the Fender Stratocaster, and it's widely regarded as the most versatile guitar, most versatile electric guitar ever made. And if you think about the design of it, it's not really, it's gone from 21 frets to 22 frets, and the fretboard radius is a bit flatter, and you know, the tremolo design has changed a little bit. It's gone from like kind of a 6-screw trem to a twin post trem over the years. But these are just fiddling around the margins, these things. You know, the guitar hasn't fundamentally changed since 1954 when it was, debuted. And Leo Fender essentially got it right. And many people regard it as the most versatile electric guitar ever made. And it has single coil pickups in it. So, you know, there you go. There's a lot of evidence to say that, if it's in the most versatile guitar, these pickups are in the most versatile guitar ever made, you know, why would you need anything else? Bears thinking about, doesn't it? Next.
You might just prefer the sound.
Yeah, in the same reason as I spoke about humbucking pickups, you know, it's raspberry jam versus strawberry jam. It's orange marmalade versus lemon marmalade. You know, personal taste comes into it, and you may just prefer the sound of single coil pickups. And it's ironic for me because many of my guitar influences, as I say, going all the way back to when I was a toddler, Hank Marvin, then, Eric Clapton. With that, I mean, I don't think Eric's ever had a better guitar tone than he got out of the single coil pickups that were in his famous mongrel Strat named Blackie. Mark Knopfler. I mean, I was listening to, the reason Knopfler's on my mind is I was listening to the Dire Straits' first album when I was having my cup of coffee this morning. Many of my guitar influences are single coil players. But somehow or other I've ended up being more of a humbucker fan. There's my phone pinging. I'll see what that is in a moment. Somehow or other I've ended up being more of a humbucker kind of guy, but, you know, personal preference comes into it. You just might prefer the sound of single coil pickups, and that's an end of it. It's you can't rationalise it. You can't come up with valid reasons and logic to explain it. It's just what you prefer, and that might be single coil pickups. So there you go. Those are 5 reasons why you might want to get a guitar with single coil pickups in it. And let me know your thoughts as ever down in the comments. I may not respond to all of the comments, but I do, because I just don't have, there aren't enough hours in the day. But I do make a point of checking the comment section at least once a day, and so, you know, just let me know what you think, and you might even get a reply. If you know, I'll do my best anyway. But that's it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And of course, don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and talk about stuff, usually guitar related, but it's not limited to that. It's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.